Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 5 of NWA Chicago. We have another great episode of NWA Main Event Showcase here. It is Friday, week 4 of July, so end of the month, end of our month of shows, our first month of shows. Well, technically, it's almost the 1 month anniversary of the company. We're looking to reverse our fortunes here, maybe get a better show than we've had the last few shows. We've been declining in quality, and so we're hoping that this can be the turnaround point. This can be our rallying point where we really flip it on its end and we start doing good. So I'm going to stop talking and we're going to run the show. In a terrible pre-show match, Brian Pillman Jr. defeated Chase Burnett in 8:36 by pinfall. They were a bad pairing, and they made for an awkward bout. 25 25 for Burnett, and 23 for Pillman Jr. So this was a high spots match. Brian Pillman Jr. is not really a big high spots guy, but I wanted to throw him in here to get him a win, because hopefully Brian Pillman can be part of our future plans. Now we start the main card. In a terrible match, Odinson and Pero defeated Argos and Magnus in 10:47 when Odinson defeated Argos by pinfall. It got a 30E+. We have an undisclosed foot injury for Argos. Match got the show off to a strong start. 29 for Magnus, 20 for Argos, 25 for Pero, and 30 for Odinson. So the reason Mike Pero is so zoomed out in his picture is because it's actually a picture I had to find online. He was not in the picture pack that I'm using, so I had to make one for Mike Pero. So E+ to start the show, but it was a strong way to start it. Argos sustained an undisclosed foot injury in this match. Christian Cage again. I'm going to change his name to Jay Riso because he doesn't need to be his wrestling persona anymore, and he needs a picture with a shirt on. Matt Striker is shown on commentary, and he says, "What a fantastic match from Odinson and Pero, once again dominating their opponents in tag team action." Now I would like to update you all on a situation from last week. Matt Cross and Sammy Guevara were attacked by the Sons of Michigan once again and left in pretty bad shape. Both men were evaluated after the assault and should be cleared to compete again within the coming weeks. As for the Sons of Michigan, our owner Billy Corgan has suspended them indefinitely for their actions. He called their behavior disgusting and disrespectful to the key foundations of the NWA and the spirit of competition this company was built on. And now, it's time for our second matchup of the night, so let's take it to the ring for Colin Delaney versus Shark Boy. I know I spelled "fo" wrong, it says "fro." He worked the crowd well, using the freedom to improvise to his advantage. 36 D- from Striker, I'm happy for that. It advances some storyline segments, and not real storylines, because I don't have an actual storyline built for it, but in terms of the viewing experience, it advances some storylines. So, now we move on to Colin Delaney versus Shark Boy. In a terrible match, Colin Delaney drew with Shark Boy on 7:46 when the match descended into chaos after the big guy got involved. 22 for both men in the match. Colin Delaney struggled due to mediocre comedy performance skill, so I decided to make this comedy match. That's probably why it was so shit, because our product does not like comedy-style matchups. So maybe the fans were happy to see it end after the big guy comes in and beats the shit out of both of them. 21E-. Now we move into the post-match angle. The big guy continues his assault of Colin Delaney and Shark Boy, eventually hitting a double shell shock on the duo. He then grabs a microphone and says, "When I came to NWA Chicago, I was promised competition. The best competition in the business. But since this company launched, I've been presented with no competition at all. I've just come out here and beaten undersized nobodies. Billy, you better find the big guy some competition soon. Otherwise, you might want to tell your other wrestlers to watch their backs. Wouldn't want them to end up like these two." The big guy improvised well throughout this segment, a 52D+, as it was based on the big guy's microphone skill and Delaney and Shark Boy's selling skills. So I thought this was going to be a very high-rated segment, and it was. So the big guy is demanding some competition from Billy Corgan. Let's see what happens. In a bout that had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, Steiner and Williams defeated the Osiris Portal in 15:42 when P.D. Williams defeated Ophidian by pinfall with a Canadian Destroyer. Steiners and Williams make defense number 1 of their NWA World Tag Team titles. So the first of our 3 championship matches this evening, Amasis seemed off his game. Of course, the Osiris Portal have very great chemistry. This match got the crowd hotter. 38 for Steiner, 39 for Williams, and mid-40s for both Ophidian and Amasis, so they may honestly be the best pure tag team I have on the roster right now. They fucking kill it when they go out there, so I may actually have to consider giving them a tag team title run. 44D for the match, as the Siren Portal really show what they got, but we keep it on Steiner and Williams because they're Steiner and Williams. After the match, Steiner takes to the mic, and he says, "Surprise, surprise, as if anybody had any doubts of Petey and Scotty. Corgan, we told you your tag team division here is garbage. I guess you didn't believe us. Well, there was your proof. Petey and I, we got better things to do. So we're going to go defend these titles elsewhere until you find some more suitable talent for us. Big Papa Pump out." Scott Steiner worked the crowd well, using the freedom to improvise to his advantage, a D-36, so Steiner and Williams, it appears as though, at least for now, are walking out of NWA with the title belts to go defend them elsewhere. Fascinating, we'll have to see where this goes. In about that had subpar wrestling in Little Heat, Kaylee Ray defeated Jazz in 12-22 by pinfall with a gory bomb. Kaylee Ray makes defense number 1 of her NWA World Women's title. This match got the crowd hotter. Announcing quality lifted the match. 43 for Kaylee Ray and a 21 for Jazz. It's all about her storyline has advanced with this segment. 38 D-. Kind of on par with what I expected. I expected Kaylee Ray to perform very, very well in this match and Jazz to perform very, very poorly. And that is exactly what happened. However, we didn't have Jazz get too tired in the match. And so that's a plus for me. That's what I was hoping for. So now, after the match, Jazz raises Kaylee Ray's hand and gives her the NWA World Women's Championship. The two embrace in the ring as a clear passing of the guard takes place. Jazz bows to Ray and leaves her in the ring on her own to take in the crowd's cheers. So this segment, or the storyline advances again. 36 D-. Kaylee Ray is the undisputed NWA World Women's Champion. Obviously, at New Blood, she won the title in a 4-way, didn't pin Jazz, who was the champion, but here, she has pinned the former champion Jazz, and there is no doubts that Kaylee Ray is the NWA World Women's Champion. No one else has a claim to the belt right now. In a decent match, Nick Aldis defeated Ethan Page in 1855 by submission. Nick Aldis makes defense number 2 of his NWA World Heavyweight title. 51 for Aldis, 38 for Page, 49 D+ for the match. I believe this is our best match to date. This may be also our best segment to date. I'm not sure. I might seem stupid if one of my segments earlier on, I think the big guy segment was a 52. I'm not sure. But this definitely gives me hope for our show. I think that we have definitely turned around our fortunes, and this is going to be one of our highest rated shows, if not our highest rated show of all time. Very excited about this one. So now after the match, Nick Aldis stands over the defeated Ethan Page and holds his NWA World Heavyweight Championship over his head. The fans give Aldis a great ovation, but the lights go out in the NWA arena. A video begins playing on the screen of the arena. It depicts a dark and hazy room. A figure sits on a lone chair in this empty room, and the figure's smoking a cigar. And the figure speaks, and it says, "The National Wrestling Alliance, such a rich and historic company, founded off the backs of so many wrestling icons. Relaunching into a new generation, creating the next icons of this industry. Some say NWA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis is the next icon. To that, I simply laugh. I tell them, Nick Aldis is a placeholder. Nick Aldis holds something that belongs to me. Nick Aldis holds my title. Nick Aldis holds my birthright. So consider this my manifest destiny. Next week, the Prince of the NWA is coming to claim his crown. Are you ready?" The lights turn back on, and Aldis stands stunned in the ring. The fans don't know what to do. There is a silence as NWA Chicago closes out its show and goes off the air. The Manifest Destiny storyline has started with this segment. 56 C-, absolutely killing it there. This is a program that I'm very excited for, very excited to announce. Let's see if you guys have any crazy conspiracy theories as to who the figure is this time. I know I do a lot of mystery segments in my booking, it appears, but who is the mystery person coming to the NWA next week? As for the show, I think that, I don't know, I want to say that this show was a solid D, if not a low-end D+. Because there was a very strong end of the show. Main event is one of the most important things in determining show rating, and this was a very strong main event here, main event angle. The main event match was also very strong. You had the big guy earlier on in the show, that was really strong, and then Kaylee Ray and Jazz's match was really strong. The tag title match was really strong. It was a strong card throughout, so I'm going to say that we got a D+ here. We just missed a D+. 47D. I'm happy with that. Argos was slightly overused, and the show increased our popularity in 18 regions. Now, let's go see what we got on television. Alright, so that episode of NWA Main Event Showcase was, as always, held in the NWA Arena in Chicago, Illinois, in front of 1,800 fans. On television, it got a .02, 22,060 viewers, and of course, it got a 47D. So this was our second highest rated show of all time, after only NWA New Blood. So this was our highest rated episode of NWA Main Event Showcase. This is also our highest viewership of any of our shows, and one of our highest attendances. I think this is now our middle attendance figure, but if we take out New Blood because it was an event, this is our second highest attendance figure. So I'm very excited about that. We should only be improving in weeks to come as our storylines get more branched out, as the stories evolve, the wrestlers improve, and NWA Chicago takes over the industry. So, since it is the end of the month, I wanted to give you guys a few updates as to some things that were happening in the wrestling world in the game, and I think the only real major update I have is that WWE has fallen to cult size, so they're actually looking at cutting some people. They're not renewing some of the contracts, so there's some interesting ideas I have with some talents who are not being renewed, so be on the lookout for possible influx of former WWE talent. I don't want to bring in too many because I want to stay kind of true to myself, and as I've said in previous episodes, I believe I don't really want to bring in a bunch of outside top-tier talent. That's why I don't have names like the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, Batista, Rey Mysterio, all these top guys that I can go out and sign, Pentagon Jr., Phoenix, all these guys. I want to stick to a small core of top guys and then develop a middle and lower core of guys. And so you may see some of those people pass through our organization, but I do not want to make this company founded on a bunch of already established indie talents. We've got those already established indie talents at the top, but I don't want the entire card to be already established top-tier indie guys, if you guys understand what I'm saying. Like, I like bringing in Odinson and Pero, Colin Delaney, Shark Boy. Some of these are guys that are already somewhat known, but they're also, for the majority, the large part, not really super well known. So I'm rambling at this point, so I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did, and I'll see you guys in next week's episode to find out who our mystery person is coming to NWA Chicago. See you guys then.